Hey, it's Robert Fithen on 1065 The Arch, and this is my review of the movie Bohemian Rhapsody. First of all, gotta give a shout out to AMC Esquire. They hosted the pre-advanced screening party, and so fortunate to be able to see this movie now. It doesn't hit general release until November 2nd. So I thought you'd be interested in knowing my take on the movie, kind of a detailed, more thought out review. So here it is. The movie is fun, the movie's rock and roll, the movie's energetic, and I think that is what you need to remember when you're seeing Bohemian Rhapsody. This is not a movie that is really delving deep into sad, kind of really heavy-handed topics. Of course, if you know the story of Freddie Mercury, you know that there's a lot of heavy-handedness in his life. But this is a movie kind of skims it. Moves along like an energetic, fun rock and roll movie, because that's what it really, I think, strives to be, and it succeeds on that level. Everybody's talking about the incredible performance of Rami Malek, and I'm certainly not going to disagree with that. He does a wonderful job as Freddie Mercury in both the stage performance, bigger than life stuff, and also the intimate scenes as well. I never forgot that I was watching an actor play Freddie Mercury, though, I will say that. But with the guy that plays Brian May, Gwendolyn Lee, and also the guy that plays John Deacon, Joe Mazzello, those two guys in particular, it's like you're watching John Deacon and Brian May. They look exactly like these people. And fun fact for you, Joe Mazzello, the guy that plays John Deacon, was the little boy in the very first Jurassic Park. So he's grown up to look like the bassist from Queen. So that's pretty cool for him. But yeah, so just again, a very, very fun, energetic, if episodic kind of movie. It seems like that was one kind of complaint I had about it, was it's a little too vignette, like it just kind of, this is what happened here, and now this is what's happening here, and this is what's happening here. So it's like a little bunch of little pieces strung together. It doesn't have this nice, big, overwhelming flow to it. I don't know how they could have worked in a lot of the intimate stuff, detailed stuff in Freddie Mercury's life in just 2 hours. But I've seen it done in movies, so I know it can happen. One big question that a lot of people had, especially after seeing only the first trailer, was basically how gay is Freddie Mercury in this movie? Because there was a worry that it was going to whitewash his whole homosexuality and make him some straight lead singer of a rock band, which I don't even think those exist. But yeah, it concentrated on a couple scenes with him and the Mary character. In the movie, Freddie is very gay. It's not hinted. There's no ambiguity. It's right there in front of you. He's gay. He's got a guy he's interested in. Later on, he's got a full-on boyfriend. He goes to the clubs trying to pick up men. It's not something that is shocking or done for whatever. It's just kind of laid there as a matter of fact. It's not ambiguous at all. He's gay, and that's it. And so you can rest assured that part is not whitewashed. The drugs and the sex and stuff like that, you're not going to see graphic scenes because it's a PG-13 movie, because somebody wants to make some money. Understandable. But it is there. It doesn't whitewash them. It just doesn't show explicitly, somebody snorting cocaine or something, but you can see powder all over a table in one scene, so you know what's going on. So it's not like it's being polite and nice. It's there, but it's just not, explicit, like, that's something that would probably give this thing an R rating. So again, I think the emphasis here is on fun, energy, everybody loving Freddie, everybody loving Queen, and that's what you need to go into this movie expecting. Just a really fun movie that deals with some heavy subjects, but kind of deals with them in a very delicate kind of way that just like let's get back to the fun. Of course, if you know the story of Queen, it's not going to be a surprise ending for you. It's a tragic ending, and that's kind of taken care of with a title cards, at the end of the movie. It doesn't show scenes of him in the hospital or anything like that. I don't want to give too much away, but the movie ends on a very, very high note, and the rest of what happens after that, as I said, is taken care of with words on the screen, basically. Couple of things. If you're a real stickler like I am, if you love music and you know a lot about it, and you see movies based on real-life music situations, you're always going to be like, yeah, that song doesn't go there. And there's some of that in the Queen movie. There's songs that are kind of out of order and don't go where they fit, which most of the time, only people like me are going to care about that. Most people are not going to care that Fat Bottom Girls really doesn't happen that early in their career. Most people, who cares? But there is one scene in particular where the out-of-order song really kind of affects plotline. And that's Another One Bites the Dust. In the movie, they're arguing about this new album they want to do. They want to do a real synthy kind of dance album with drum machines and stuff like that. Basically just a dance club album. Some members want to do it, some don't. So here's John Deacon sitting there. He starts playing the Another One Bites the Dust riff on the bass guitar. He's the, you know, in real life, he's the one that wrote the song. And the guys turn around and hear this incredible Another One Bites the Dust bass line, and they're like, oh my God, that's incredible. Well, if that's disco, maybe we should do some disco. Yeah, all right, woo! And they're on top of the world. From everything I've ever heard about Queen, that's kind of the opposite order. They had big success with Another One Bites the Dust. It was a rhythmic kind of, you know, dance type song. And so they thought, let's recapture that #1 hit by making a full album of nothing but synthesizer, drum machine, dance songs. And even take it steps further with, you know, drum machines and whatever. When they did that, the album's called Hot Space. It was an abysmal failure. It did not launch a hit song. It did not whatever. Under Pressure's on there, but that's from Greatest Hits, and that's a whole other story. Anyway, horrible Queen album. I think the album was so bad they never fully recovered from it, at least in the Midwest United States, like where I am. I mean, yeah, they did Live Aid, but they never fully came back to that huge, we're a rock band kind of thing after Hot Space. So that kind of, in the movie, kind of rewrites history a little bit because it makes it look like there was this huge success when in reality that was a huge failure. So there's a lot of little things like that in the movie where they, especially with Freddie, they make him seem a little too, I don't know, innocent in his, you know, like doing solo albums and stuff like that. It's made to appear like he was fooled by other people and tricked by other people, and that's why he did this, you know, I guess bad thing or whatever. He did this thing over here because somebody tricked him and fooled him. I mean, well, the solo album he came out with was called Mr. Bad Guy. So he's fully admitting at that point that he's a bad guy. But the movie kind of makes it look like it's a lot of other people's faults that are putting him into situations. So a little bit of revisionism there, but you can expect that in a movie. But again, energetic, fun, rock and roll. That's the kind of movie this is. It's not a depressing movie. It's not a movie that delves deep. It's not a movie where you're going to sit there and really think, with a lot of clever whatever. There are some really great cinematography moments and some great transitions too that don't look very computer generated at all. It's a really well made film as far as on a technical aspect. The direction obviously is great. There's a lot of you know, you feel like you're right there in the concert. You really feel for Freddie. You feel like you know him after the movie's over. But for big Queen fans, there's not a lot here that you didn't already know. It's kind of like I just saw a recent, not a movie, but a documentary that Showtime had on Leonard Skinner. Same thing. A lot of information, but most people already know all this stuff. So, in kind of summary, it's again, I keep using these three words: fun, energetic, rock and roll movie. Does kind of skirm a little, make him look a little too innocent. Not with sexual stuff or any partying or anything, but just for decision making, it kind of makes him look a little innocent. He is definitely gay in the movie. There's no question about that. It is not ambiguous. It's not hinted at or, you know, double entendres and nonsense like that. Props to the audience. Two full-on man-on-man face, you know, mouth kisses in this movie, and nobody gasped. Nobody squirmed in their seats. I think 10 years ago that would have been, you know, but now everybody's fine. So, not really a warts and all movie, but a fun movie, especially if you're a big Queen fan. This is the kind of movie people are going to put on later on after they've seen it a couple times. You know, party movie, basically. A lot of partying and a lot of great stuff in here. And I think the Queen fans and fans of fun movies and fans of rock and roll will definitely appreciate this movie.